We're going to make a porch sitter with 4 of these signs from Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of them and put them side by side, and then using popsicle sticks and the bigger sticks and glue those to the back. And I'm going to do this twice. So I'm going to do this one you're seeing here on screen, and then off screen I'm going to do another one that looks just like it. And then I'm going to butt the ends up together and adhere those together as well. Hope that makes sense. And so I'm going to use wood glue as well as hot glue. I live in a hot climate, so it's definitely important for me to use the wood glue. I also think it will adhere better. And so I'm just going to put a bunch of these down. I do end up going back after the whole thing is done because it's still a little bit flimsy, and I use some duct tape and put it all along that center crease where the 2 boards meet. You could also use when you're putting the 2, so you got your top 2 signs and your bottom 2 signs, when you're putting those together, you could use like some long wood dowels to connect them, and I think that would make it stronger as well. And then I went to my Cricut and I cut out a stencil, and I just used the contact paper from Dollar Tree because it is removable, so it makes it for a inexpensive transfer. And so I am doing God Bless America, and I cut them separately so that one, I could fit it all because I only have a 24-inch mat, and 2, because I'm going to do some in blue and some in red. So I am using transfer tape just like I would if I were putting vinyl down. And I think I used like too strong of transfer tape because it was sticking, but it's okay. It all worked out. And then using my little sponge dauber, I'll go ahead and sponge the paint down into the stencil. Now make sure when you're peeling up the stencil, your paint is still wet. And also make sure you have plenty of wipes and paper towels because my stencil was very wet with paint, which obviously makes sense. And I'm just going to do, like I said, I'm doing blue for the God and America and the little stars on there, and then Bless is going to be in red. Okay, and now I'm just going to add some ribbon to the top and bottom. This ribbon is actually in the coastal section at Dollar Tree, but you know, it's red, white, and blue. Works perfect. I'm going to overlap it so that I can glue it on the back side as well, and that'll just give it that nice look. And then I just took that same ribbon and made a regular little tie your shoes bow and added it to the center. And that's it for this project. You could easily do more to this to decorate it more, but I wanted to keep it somewhat simple, and I really love the way this turned out. I got a couple of these cars, well, trucks in my Michael's grab bag. As you can see, they're Valentine's. And so I definitely knew I could either make some into a Christmas truck or a 4th of July truck. So we're going to make the 4th of July truck today. So I'm just going to pop off these felt roses that are just glued down here. And then using my finger sander, I just kind of sand down the glue that's left over. And then I'm going to use one of these wood pieces to cover this part. Now you could just paint the back, but I'm going to do this so I can kind of push it up a little more, have a little bigger of a piece, and I will cut that down and paint that paint it blue. Now, if you don't have this, obviously, because I got it in my Michael's grab bag, Dollar Tree has a lot of signs like this that you could definitely make over and do something very similar. Okay, so this utensil set from Dollar Tree, it's a little wooden utensil set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the handles off, and these are going to become our firecrackers. So I'm just making a bunch that are going to be the tall parts, and then I'm going to cut little like kind of triangle pieces, and then kind of a long rectangle piece, and that will put my firecrackers together. And so what I decided to do is, since there's 3 patterns here, I decided to just kind of switch up the patterns back and forth, and just using some hot glue I will put those all together. Okay, then I just cut out this little image here from my Cricut as well. I do believe this was actually just in Cricut's design space. I thought it was really cute. I love that, the word vibes. I love that font. And so just adding that to it. But of course you could use any kind of sticker, or you could write, you know, Happy 4th of July, whatever you would like. And then I'm going to glue everything down, and this project is complete. And I think it was a fun way to use up something from my Michael's grab bag. Okay, I'm going to make a wreath here with more Michael's grab bag items. So this fabric was in from last year. I actually purchased that ribbon at Joann's on clearance. And then these stars were in one of the Christmas grab bags, and they were on sticks. I'm forgetting what those are called, but picks. They're called picks. Yeah, Christmas picks. So pulled all the picks out of it. So I opened up the fabric here, and then I'm using the rotary tool here, but I just don't have enough pressure to cut it, so I have to keep going over and over it. So it ended up being a lot easier just to use my sewing scissors and cut it. And that was super easy, but you know, I got to try it the wrong way first. So now you're gonna say, well, I don't have all those stars. That's okay. So I'm gonna show you at the end of this project how you can make some of those stars yourself for a project like this. So anyhow, I'm just cutting a bunch of strips, and then I cut them at the bottom so they're, you know, because right now they're folded over, but I'll cut them so they're all just about this length, which is, I believe, was about 11 to 12 inches. I would actually do them longer if you can. I think when I tie them, there's not a lot of tails, and I think it would have maybe looked nicer if they were a little bit longer. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm taking my 14-inch wreath form from Dollar Tree. I'm just taking these little strips here and tying them in a double knot. That's it. So this part was really easy. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's really easy, and I just do as many as I can all the way around, and yep, just a double knot. At this point, I'm trying to decide, do I just want the stars going, you know, onto one side, or do I want it to go all the way around? And I do decide that I want them to go all the way around, but I think either way will work. Just this rag wreath kind of alone is so cute. I love how that part turned out. So I'm just going to line the stars up and hot glue them all the way around, and I'm going to leave an opening for the bow. This tends to be my go-to bow anymore. I just wrap it around the pegs 3 times and then leave those are my tails. It's just such an easy ribbon bow to make. And then you pinch it in the center and add a chenille stem or zip tie, whatever you choose to use. And then you just fluff out the bow. It just seems to be the simplest bow for me. So here I just pull the loops apart and fluff it, and then I'll dovetail the ends, and then I find a little red star in my stash and I add that to the center. There's so many different things you can add to the center, or nothing if you want. And then I add that to the bottom of the wreath here, and then I'm going to add just a little piece of ribbon so I have something to hang it with, and then this wreath is complete. Okay, this is what you can do if you don't have the little stars that I had. You can take some burlap and then just use a star template to cut it out. Now this particular burlap is a little bit too big of a weave. I would get something tighter weaved, more like fabric. And then cut it out. You're going to cut out 2, and then you're going to glue it around the sides and leave enough room to stuff it. And then you're just going to use like pillow stuffing or whatever you want to use to stuff it. I didn't do that because I was just trying to show you a quick like idea of how you could do it, but I wanted to make mention of that. Going to take one of these wood stars from Dollar Tree. I covered it in Mod Podge, and then I laid it facing down on the fabric and let it dry. And you didn't need to watch me glue it down. I figured you could figure that out. So now I'm just going to cut the fabric that goes around the star, and I'm not going to cut it super close to the edge. I'm going to leave just a little bit of fabric overlay, and then what I'm going to do with that is kind of just take my fingernails and fray the fabric and just give it just a little bit of extra texture. I'm going to take one of these garden stakes from Dollar Tree and just pop it off. They always come off really easy. I've never had a hard time just bending them until they pop off. So that's always nice. And then I'm going to glue this cute little bicycle down to the star. It stayed just fine with hot glue, so that's a win. Sometimes hot glue and metal don't work well, but I think because it was to fabric, it worked really well. And then I covered one of these wood signs from Dollar Tree with some scrapbook paper. I just glued it down, and then I always use a sanding block to go around the edges. It gives it that little white edge, plus it makes it nice and perfect around your circle. And then I'm going to glue the star down to the circle piece here, and then I go into my stash and I'm trying to find something, to put at the bottom, and I found this little license plate sticker. Oh my gosh, I was like, license plate, bicycle? I mean, we used to do that in the 80s, right? You had to put a little license plate in the back of your bike. But anyhow, I thought it worked out perfect. It needed just one more little thing, so I made a little bow from some ribbon that I picked up at Hobby Lobby and added that to the top, and then this sign is complete. I hope you enjoyed these 4th of July projects, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button because I will have more videos coming out. Until next time, happy crafting.